Good morning, students. I hope that all of us have got an opportunity, at least once in our lifetime, to become leaders. Isn't it? Is there anyone who haven't become a leader at least once in your lifetime? I don't think that there will be anyone like that. Isn't it? Either you may have got an opportunity to become leader in your maybe in your school, or maybe as class leaders, or even as bench leaders, isn't it? We had a practice like that to become bench leaders, where teachers will assign some students, or at least one student from a bench, as a bench leader, and he is responsible to teach other students also, isn't it? So, or while playing in your with your friends, you might have become the team captain when you play cricket with your friends, isn't it? So, at all these times, what was your experience? Can you share it with your friends? You might have faced many problems during your leadership. You may have to handle the quarrels between your team members, and and you might be responsible to maintain the cohesivity in your group and guide them to success. Have you ever felt that it is your responsibility to lead your team to success? Have you? If you have felt like that, then obviously you are a good leader. Okay, so now I am going to show you some pictures of great leaders. Please listen to them.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was born about 2000 years ago, and he was a unique leader who communicated effectively to his followers. He had a clear vision of his objectives. He practiced what he preached and sacrificed his life for a cause. Even after thousands of years of his death, he has followers all around the world. Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was a great leader who was the mentor of mentors and the leader of all motivational leaders. Krishna always played a tactical role under different situations of pressure and managed issues to provide solutions and guided and motivated Pandavas in the Mahabharata war. He motivated Arjun, who was reluctant to kill his own kin, and through his motivational words, Arjuna decided to fought the war, and ultimately the Pandavas won the war. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was the most successful military commander. Once he led his troop across a hot, arid desert. After nearly 2 weeks of marching, he and his soldiers were near death from thirst. Yet Alexander pushed ahead. One day, two of his soldiers brought a half cup of water they found. Alexander poured that water to the ground. The troop was shocked, but the king said, "It is of no use for one to drink when many are thirsty."
From these stories, what do you think is the quality of a good leader? Or who is a good leader? Or what is leadership? According to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, leadership is the ability to inspire other peoples with a dream. Leadership is the act of influencing people to work towards progress, towards the accomplishment of a specific goal. A leader is a person who considers and cares for his fellow beings or his fellow mates in his group and motivate them in spite of any hardship that he have to face, and will lead his team to success and the achievement of the goals desired. Okay, now let us come to a favorite story of all times or favorite films. Bahubali. All of you have seen the film, isn't it? Yes, I know that there is nobody who haven't seen this film Bahubali. Hmm? So in that film we have a scene that when Mahishmati, kingdom of Mahishmati, it is the kingdom of Bahubali, and they were fighting with the Kalagayas, isn't it? The black dressed people. You remember? Okay. So at one spot of the battle, it was seen that the kingdom of Mahishmati was about to lose the battle. The soldiers of Mahishmati was running away from the battlefield with fear. Okay, at that time we see that the hero Bahubali, he just returned back to the battlefield to his soldiers and he delivers a speech, a very motivational speech. After hearing that speech, we see that the soldiers who had lost their one leg or who were disabled, everyone they who were about to run back, they stayed there and decided to fight. And we see that finally they fought with the Kalakayas and Kalagayas was there was a number of people, there was thousands of soldiers in the Kalagaya side, but with a few number of soldiers, Bahubali's Mahishmati was able to win the battle. The soldiers got that energy only from the courageous or motivating words of Bahubali. There was no other weapons, no other extra weapons was given to them. But through the speech or the motivational and the inspirational speech of the leader, they were able to conquer the Kalakayas. So do you think that the speech or the words of a leader can influence the mass or his group members? Do you? It is evident from this film, isn't it? So, now I am going to show you some characteristics of a good leader or some characteristics which we need to develop to become good leaders. Let us go to the presentation.
Character. A successful leader should have a strong character, including principles of honor, integrity, loyalty, and confidence. Charisma. It is the ability to make the decisions and inspire people to work towards a common goal. Commitment. A true leader is always dedicated to a cause and also to his followers. Communication. A leader should be able to transmit the ideas in a sense of urgency and enthusiasm to others and be a patient listener too. For example, Martin Luther King. Through his single speech, I Have a Dream, he was able to motivate a large group of people. Competence. A leader should have the ability and knowledge to plan his actions in such a convincing manner that will lead to success. Courage. A leader should be willing to take a risk and according to their belief, despite danger or disapproval. Vision. The leader must possess a very specific vision for the future, a goal with a clear plan to achieve it. Generosity. Leader is expected to be generous and kind in his attitude to his fellow beings. Positive attitude. A successful leader inspires confidence even in the face of hurdles. His optimism will lead to success of his group. Problem solving. A leader must be patient to hear the problems and should be patient enough to find a solution for it. Integrity. A leader should have the character of being honest and he should be reliable and fair. He should be a man of strong principles. Creativity. Extraordinary solutions comes from an extraordinary mind. So a leader should be creative and should take the initiatives to plan and execute. Flexibility. The leader should be flexible to adjust to a new situation without sacrificing his principles. Responsibility. A good leader is accountable for his behaviors and fulfill his obligations even under the cost of personal interest. A leader must build a network of trust in his team and must work together to achieve their goals, as teamwork will give you the dream work.
Okay, now we are familiar with some qualities needed for a good leader. Now, my question is, are these leaders born or self made? To make a clarification in this question, I will just show you a video or a video of a lady or of a small girl. She is we can call her as a world leader or as a influencer. We'll just go to that video.
Malala Yousafzai. She is a youngest Nobel laureate. She was born on July 12, 1997, in Mangora, Pakistan. Her father's name was Ziauddin Yousafzai, and mother's name was Tourpeki Yousafzai. She has two younger brothers. Her family ran a chain of schools. Her father, an educational activist, taught her Pashto, English, and Urdu. Her father sensed early on that there was something special about Malala and encouraged her to think and express herself freely. She started speaking about education rights in 2008 when she was just 11 years old. She addressed an audience at a local press club in Peshawar and questioned the audacity of the Taliban to snatch away her basic right to education. At the behest of her father, she began writing an anonymous blog for the BBC Urdu website under the pseudonym Gul Makai. The idea of a schoolgirl blogging about the Taliban's growing influence in Swat was originated by Amir Ahmed Khan of BBC Urdu. To blog about the Taliban was a very risky decision, but Ziauddin Yousafzai himself insisted that 11-year-old Malala do it. Her first blog entry was posted on 3 January 2009. She wrote about how fewer girls dared to attend school because of the Taliban and how the Taliban had forced the school shut. She continued writing when the school later reopened and she, along with her friends, could again attend classes as they did before. Then she gave her school exams and ended the blog in March 2009. Even though she wrote the blog anonymously, her identity was later revealed and she became a popular teenage activist who was often called to give speeches. Over the next couple of years, she continued to gain in popularity, even receiving an award from the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The Taliban was increasingly becoming agitated with this young crusader, and she routinely received death threats. When she was returning home from school, on 9 October 2012, a Taliban gunman shot her in the head. The bullet went through her head and neck to end in her shoulder. Two of her friends were also injured in the attack. She survived the shooting and received immediate treatment at a hospital in Peshawar and was later transferred to Birmingham, England for further care. Eventually she recovered and resumed her studies at the all-girls Edgbaston High School in Birmingham. Her ordeal with the Taliban and her miraculous survival led to an outpouring of support from all corners of the world and helped her in furthering her cause. She gave a speech at the United Nations on her 16th birthday in 2013. The United Nations dubbed the event Malala Day. The same year, her autobiography, I Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban was published. She continues her activism with even more fervor and spoke at Harvard University and the Oxford Union in 2013. In July 2014, she advocated for the rights of girls by speaking at the Girls' Summit in London. She was bestowed with Sitara-e-Shuja, Pakistan's third highest civilian bravery award, in October 2012. The Clinton Foundation presented her with the Clinton Global Citizen Award in 2013. The European Parliament honored her with the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought in 2013. She was awarded the 2014 Nobel Peace Prize, along with Indian activist Kailash Satyarthi, for their struggle against the suppression of children and young people and for the right of all children to education. In 2017, she was awarded honorary Canadian citizenship and became the youngest person to address the House of Commons of Canada. She is currently studying for a bachelor's degree in philosophy, politics, and economics at Lady Margaret Hall, Oxford. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful, said Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai, who was a small village girl in Pakistan, who fought with Taliban for the right of women education. She was attacked by the terrorists, but she survived the attack and began to work for the purpose of education to remove terrorism and illiteracy. According to her words, she says that the terrorists thought that with this attack she will stop her works, will change her aims, and will live according to what the terrorists wanted. But she says that what happened was just reverse. She says that with that attack, her fear, hopelessness, weakness died, and strength, power, and courage was born. We can see that her experiences in life, her background, and above all, it was her strong will that made her to work for the purpose or for the cause of women education, to fight against terrorism and illiteracy, and thus she became a world famous leader or a world famous influencer. So we can see that leaders are both born as well as they are self-made. The born leaders have the ability to inspire other peoples and to work for a cause, innate powers. But whereas the self-made leaders possess a desire to do so. Now we have seen a number of examples of leaders, good leaders, isn't it? A variety of examples we have seen now, and the qualities that we should develop to become good leaders. But let me ask you one question. Wasn't Hitler a great leader? Wasn't Osama bin Laden a leader? What was the problem with their leadership? Yes, their leadership was an authoritative one, or we can say that they are also great leaders. If we consider the fact of, if we focus on the leadership skills, we can say that they are great leaders. But what was the problem with them or with their leadership? Yes, their leadership lacked values and the consideration to the fellow beings and the humanity, isn't it? So we can say that leadership skills coupled with values will make a perfect, efficient leader. So, how can we become good leaders in our life? We can develop the attitude of compassion to our fellow beings by being sensitive to the needs of our parents, our siblings, our friends, our neighbors, etc. Similarly, always You should try to take up all the opportunity that comes to you to become a leader. It may be to become a leader of the captain in your cricket team while playing with your friends, or to become a class leader. Don't just back out due to inferiority complex. Just see that whether you can do that opportunity well. It will give you a lot of confidence and courage. And I hope that by God's grace, all my students will become, not I don't say that you all are going to become great leaders, but obviously you all can develop good leadership skills in you. As a famous saying goes,
You are born good, you can do good, and you will do good everywhere at all times. Let your leadership skills be used for the good and benefit of our country and our fellow beings. Before winding up our class, let us move to a follow-up activities. You have two assignments today. First one is to describe an experience in your life as a leader. Second one is to prepare a quote album on 10 famous personalities about leadership. So let's wind up today's class. Thank you.